Hey everybody, it's your boy Cody from Savant, and in this week's episode, we present to you a new segment called Pressure Points, where we go over the NBA's current playoff teams and give you a couple pressure points that each team has and how they can fix it. So to get started, we're going to look at the landscape of the current NBA playoffs. In the Eastern Conference, which we'll be going over in this video, we have the Detroit Pistons at the top at 31-10, the Boston Celtics sitting at second at 26-16, the Knicks third at 25-18, the Raptors fourth at 26-19, the 76ers fifth at 23-19, and the Magic tied with them as well at sixth for 23-19 as well. So, with that being said, we'll start with the first team, and that is the Detroit Pistons. So, for them specifically, it's late game offensive structure that bothers them. They're second in the NBA in net rating, but rank 11th in overall offense, which means that they play well in their flow, but the late game antics tend to be your turn, my turn, hero ball antics that actually hinders them in winning games. They get carried by their elite defense, but in the 7-game series, offensively, they need to have more of an identity. I've watched a handful of Knicks games this year. Cade Cunningham wants to create. He wants to be a pass-first point guard, and they simply do not have the rotations and the offensive efficiency to allow him to do that, right? He has to take over sometimes, or other people come in and they just start to shot chuck, and that's when they lose games. So if they want to get it figured out, they just need a little bit more offensive structure. But I think that they'll be a great regular season team for the years to come. But with the playoffs looming, they need to have an identity. Next, we have the Boston Celtics, who are in second place at 26-16. Their main focus needs to be interior defense. They lost Jason Tatum for the season. He might come back at the end, but they are currently elite on both sides of the ball, but they rank 22nd in defensive rebounding. They don't have a lot of size. They're playing guys like Garza and Hugo, and they're getting exposed a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. When teams pressure their rim, their play style breaks a bit and they collapse as a team, right? Most of their losses are because teams are more aggressive than them, even though Boston likes to play aggressively both on offense and defense. To me, you might want to trade for a potential backup or a more stable big man. Chris Boucher comes to mind. He hasn't really played that well this season, but you get the gist, right? Luke Garza and Hugo Gonzalez are just not doing it right now. You kind of miss a guy like Porzingis. I think you just need to trade for a big man who is a little bit more stout in the rebounding category and can hopefully provide some offensive prowess as well. Next, we have the New York Knicks, who are 25-18 and currently sit in third place. Right now, they're kind of turning into a dumpster fire, and the main reason for that is half-court scoring diversity. Offensive rating drops considerably when the pace slows, and I know the Knicks like to slow the pace to try to get their offense back in order, right? When Brunson becomes a one-man show, and he always has a ball in his hands and he likes to create, but sometimes, OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges or Cat, they're just not going to be on, and that just ruins their game plan, right? They kind of are hoping everybody's on because they have guys who are coming off the bench like Mitchell Robinson and the little point guard who really doesn't provide a lot of offensive firepower, right? So they win on effort and toughness currently this year, but at the end of the game, it always feels like hero ball with Brunson. Cat has regressed significantly. I know they're trying to trade him. We'll just have to see how this team can put it together. But right now you can see the holes. They're losing against bad teams, and they're barely beating good teams. Luckily for them, the Eastern Conference is a pretty easy place to be in the top 6. Next, we have the Toronto Raptors, who are currently 4th place at 26-19, and the main focus for them has to be shooting gravity. They are a good team. They play great defense. They play as a team. Unfortunately, they rank 21st in field goal percentage throughout the association. It's just not good enough. I don't think they've had a elite offensive creator in a while, right? They got rid of Brandon Ingram, and they have Brandon Ingram, and that's been their source of scoring so far, but they need a little bit more. He's getting old. He's a little slow. They just don't have a lot of guys who can shoot efficiently. I think they were hoping Grady Dick would jump into the fold and start shooting lights out, but that's not really happening right now. Defenses against them help aggressively off shooters that they do have, and they make guys shoot who are not really that efficient, like a Scotty Barnes, etc. Right? They hope to get a lot of easy baskets, the Raptors, but they're going to need to make hard baskets once the playoff rolls around. Finally, their assist to scoring ratio is second in the league, meaning they move the ball well and get good looks, but they don't have elite shooting, right? So to me, one thing that they could do to fix this issue is trade for Dalton Knecht. I know the Lakers don't want him anymore. He's barely getting used. And in an offense like the Raptors, it's good defense, it's run and gun. Maybe he could be a nice secondary bench option where he can come in and shoot some threes and just kind of lift this team's offensive total up a bit. In fifth place, we have the Orlando Magic at 23-19, and this one's a pretty obvious one. They've underwhelmed a bit this season because of their half-court shot creation. They are top tier in defensive efficiency, but they are bottom tier in offensive efficiency. If you've watched any Orlando Magic games recently, it's whose turn is it, right? It's basically Paolo Banchero has had an up and down season. Franz Wagner is just getting back into the mix. Some of their bench players have not performed as well as you'd hope over the course of the season. And, guys like Desmond Bane have just not been exactly what we thought they would be just yet. I think they hoped that Desmond Bane would be able to take over and become a huge part of the offense, but because they have such a slow pace, it's hard to get his style of play really effective. Late game offensive rating dips significantly. They get stops, they just do not capitalize. I feel like they get a lot of great stops against good teams, but then they have to run their half-court offense, and it just becomes, honestly, a crapshoot. Final point here is defends like a playoff team, but becomes one-dimensional on offense every single game. This is a team that could potentially trade for somebody. I know they have like Contavious Caldwell-Pope, some older veterans who just aren't really doing the job. Suggs is hurt and, not playing that well offensively. I think they need to trade for a piece that could get them a more structurally sound offense. And finally, at the number 6 seed, we have the 23-19 76ers. And this one is pretty obvious as well. It's non-Embiid minutes. They have huge on and off splits when Embiid is not playing. They let teams back into games easily, and it becomes a Tyrese Maxey circus show. All teams start to double him. They want him to create, but that leaves guys that you need to trust to make open shots like Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes, Jared McCain when he's healthy, and VJ Edgecombe, who's a rookie, right? So it's just not really the best rotation offensively when it comes to the bench, and that shows in their games, right? They have a hard time closing games when they're up, and they have a hard time coming from behind when Embiid's not playing as well. To me, they have a lot of tradable pieces. A guy like Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, they could think about trading these players for a more offensive, efficient player like Porzingis potentially, or other people around the league. I think they just need more half-court shot making and not have so many streaky shooters on their team. Just a little bit more efficiency. And, for example, I saw Kelly Oubre hit like 6 threes yesterday, but the game before that, he was terrible. There you have it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the first edition of Pressure Points, presented by Savant, NBA edition. In next week's show, we will go over the Western Conference teams and what pressure points they have as well. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. Share with a friend if you like our channel, and stay tuned for more up-to-date, informative, great content.